Hello guys, today we are going to read about various renewable energy resources which are being used other than the non-renewable energy resources. Since we only knew about petrol, diesel, CNG, LPG, but there are other resources which can be used and they are clean energy fuels. So I think a little bit introduction is required about all these renewable energy resources before going forward. Today, these are all the contents, Unit 1, 3, 4, 5th and 6th. Today I will be going to discuss the major topics from the your Unit 1. As we all know that we have various renewable resources like solar energy, hydropower energy, biomass, fuel of life, that is, these are fuel of life, geothermal and wind energy. But we don't know where it is being used. We only knew about solar energy because government is giving subsidized solar panels to everyone in all over the country. But there are other resources which can be used and they are very they can create a large amount of power. So this topic will give you a brief introduction about all these resources. In non-renewable resources, since we all have vehicle at our home, so we know that we have coal, nuclear power, natural gas, fossil fuel, which is depleting day by day and we are using it. We use gallons of petrol every day and we don't. Right now we are going forward. We are being enlightened by the things that other than fossil fuel, we are using hydrogen cars, we are using electric cars because of all these problems which are being created by the fossil fuel. These are the contents. So what is the first question arises? What is the energy? Since 7th, 8th standard, we are we are being asked what is energy. Energy is the capacity to do work. The total amount of energy, the work the body can do it is measured according to it. Everything happens in the world, that expression of flow of energy in one of its own. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be transferred from one form to another form. There are three resources available with us, which is primary energy source, secondary and supplementary energy source. In primary energy source are those which provide a net supply of energy. The energy required to obtain from these fuel is much less as than when they produce by combustion, like our fossil fuel. The example of it is our fossil fuel. Like we have to take help of combustion to generate a high amount of energy, like coal, natural gas, oil and nuclear energy. In secondary fuels are those which produce no net energy. So they are available in abundance, but we are not using it as an energy. So these are our solar, wind energy, geothermal energy. Supplementary energy are defined as those whose net energy yield is zero and those requiring, like insulation, that is being transferred from one that is being not transferred to another resource. So that is the insulation. There are different forms of energy. We all know that mechanical energy, thermal, chemical, electrical, nuclear, electromagnetic and gravitational energy. Energy resource and their availability. In energy resource are broadly categorized according to commercial and non-commercial energy resources. The commercial energy resources are coal, oil, natural gas, hydroelectric power, nuclear power. And non-commercial is your wood, animal waste and agricultural waste. Energy resource and their availability, it has a conventional sources of energy as well as non-conventional. As I told you, like in conventional, we are using these coal, petroleum, natural gas, but in non-conventional, we are using actually solar energy, geothermal energy and wind energy. Conventional sources of energy, overall 85% of energy used in the world is non-renewable supply. as I told you, we are using non-renewable sources and it is depleting, and one day will come we don't have the non-renewable sources. That's why whole world is transferring towards the renewable source of energy. And they can be used by the fossil fuel energy, hydraulic energy and nuclear energy. Non-conventional energy resources are like sun, wind, water and waves. This contributes to increasing energy and climate security for many communities across the world. We are using the, for example, coastal area where there is abundance of wind energy. We can use that energy and generate electricity. That will actually help the nation in GDP also. To sum up the brief, so we have these and other sources of energy which we will be discussing today. As I told you, non-conventional, you can see that around 53.4% coal is being used to create energy. 6.7% we are using gas. Nuclear is 1.8. Diesel and lignite is 1.8 and 0.196. And the renewable source, right now we are very good at this, which includes hydro, wind and solar, bio and small. This is 36.2. But still we are dependable upon conventional sources of energy. Wind energy. As I told you, wind energy is one of the powerful source of energy in which kinetic energy of wind is converted into the mechanical energy and mechanical energy is converted into the electrical energy. Wind power, normally we use turbines which are situated onshore or offshore, both. But if it is onshore, it is better since a lot of money is required if it is offshore. Many projects on the windmill system for water pumping and production of small amount of electrical power have been taken up in our country. The major developments you can see are like Kazri windmill at Jodhpur, MP1 sail mill at NAL Bangalore, 12 PU 500 windmill at NAL Bangalore, Tayabji windmill at Tiltonia near Ajmer. Wind energy, these are all windmills. Merits, no price, obviously, since these are non-conventional, or you can say renewable energy resource. They are given by the mother nature only, so there is no price for it. It's non-polluting, as I told you, and eco-friendly, suitable for offshore areas where there is a lot of, you can say, wind is there. There is a lot of wind energy is there. Demerits, one of the demerits is it is less favorable in cities. You know, there are high landscapes in cities and there is less wind. So it is not suitable for cities. Flow of wind is not granted throughout the year, and present day wind systems resources are immense noise pollution. That is one major disadvantage of using wind energy. Solar energy, I don't need to tell you about it. You know, a total radiant energy of sun is vast, out of which only small fraction get incident on the outside of Earth surface. Or from that small amount, 30% is reflected back to the outer space, and 47% is being directly converted into heat, which is also lost to the outer space, and the rest 23% causes major evaporation, precipitation and circulation. So you can know that from a small amount of energy which is being consumed by the earth, these 3% happen, and only 23% is the usable energy. Okay. These are all the solar panels which are being used. Merits, noiseless, since wind energy was it was a noiseful operation, but it is noiseless. Cheaper initial cost and no need of container to store the fuels, and in most of the equipment do not require any serious attention. You can just place it over there and they will create, there are fuel cells in that and they will charge and get it converted into electric energy. Solar equipment, normally there is a large problem like in India, where there is a variation of temperature. If there is cloudy season or in winter season when the sunlight is less, so it fails. Tidal energy. Tidal energy exploits the movement of water caused by tidal currents or rise and fall in sea. Although it is not that much popular among us, but it is a potential future energy generation, and it can be used, since tidal energy can be used to create a large amount of electricity all over the world. Since all know that a large portion of Earth is water, so we can use that. A Bay of Fundy in Canada, actually, where there is high tides and low tides are major, there it can be this tidal energy can be used, and you can see around 5,000 mega power is being created by the Bay of Fundy. This is one of the tidal energy generator. Marriage is very less area is required since it's on the bay, so not much land is required. It is much superior to hydropower as it totally depends upon rain, which fluctuate year to year. Tidal power has a unique capacity to meet peak power demand, like when there is high tide, a large amount of energy can be produced. So it is the potential, you can say that, energy generation thing. Tidal power plant can be developed on the natural sites only, since there should be an ocean near it, then it can be generated. Capital cost of plant is very high, and the sites which are available on the bay and the load centers are far away, a power generated get lost. So there is lot of energy loss during this process. MHD in energy introduction. This is one of the thing which uses the principle of based on Faraday's law. In the Faraday's law, we know that when a conductor and a magnetic field moves relative to each other, the voltage is induced, and in conductor, which result in the flow of current across the terminal. So this is one of the more common, you can say, procedure to generate a electric energy. So it is being used in measure of the power generating plants. Merits more reliable since there is no moving part. Compared efficiency is about 50% high compared to less than 40% for more efficient steam plant. Power produced with no pollution. The capital loss of MHD plant is low comparable to those conventional steam plant. One major disadvantage is when it suffers from reverse flow, that is short circuits of electrons through the conducting fluid. So it is a major, you can say, drawback of using MHD. Our next topic, we are going in depth regarding it, that is fuel cell. A fuel cell is an electrochemical cell that converts the chemical energy of a fuel, that is a hydrogen. I was telling you the next era is about hydrogen cars. Right now India is a little bit behind, but a day will come like electrical cars, we will have a hydrogen car also. And an oxidizing agent of, that is our oxygen into electricity through pair of reduction and oxidation. Fuel cells are different from most of the batteries in requiring continuous source of fuel to sustain the chemical reaction. Fuel cell can produce electricity continuously for as long as fuel and oxygen are supplied. When they are depleted, fuel cell is depleted. So if there is hydrogen in atmosphere and there is oxygen in atmosphere. So fuel cells, they continuously produce the energy. This is a typical example of fuel cell. You can see that this is anode and cathode, hydrogen in and oxygen in, and there is a reaction, and water, since hydrogen and oxygen there, water is formed, that is a residual, and it will get charged. Hydrogen is coming and oxygen is coming, and this is anode and cathode. It is being supplied, and their electrons are being generated and electricity being generated. The result of this is obviously one is electricity and the water is produced as a residual effect. Merits of fuel cell: it is very high in efficiency, as from 70%. It is used direct conversion process, doesn't require any thermal process. Fuel cell take a little time to start. Fuel cell have mechanical component, hence maintenance is required is less, space required is also less, and large amount of cooling water is not required like in conventional steam power plant. They do not make noise, hence can be used in residential area. Demerit is low service life. The use of fuel cell is still unsafe due to explosive nature of hydrogen and oxygen. As you know, sun is made up of hydrogen, and hydrogen is the you have to maintain the quantity. The refilling of auto vehicles is quite difficult. These are one of the major demerit of using hydrogen in a cell. Biomass. We all know that what is biomass, since it's a cycle. Like it's an organic material. We use organic material we are actually using wood for cooking purpose and many things. We use wood for wood or biodegradable plants to create energy. It is a renewable energy source because we can always grow more trees, more crops. So it is one of the best example. When burnt, the chemical energy in biomass is released as heat, and heat can be used where there is water, and it can be converted into steam, and steam can be used to you can say move the turbine, and turbine will give the electrical energy. Burning biomass is not the only way to release energy. It can be converted into usable form like methane, fuels, ethanol, and biodiesel. Biomass plant is a device for conversion of fermentable organic like cow dung. It is being used. We can ferment it, and the gases are produced. That gases can be used for creating the heat energy by burning it, obviously. These materials are confined in space out of contact with oxygen, while biomass is organic matter, and they can be derived from plant, algae, and animal. Biomass merits: it is very high cost. It is not very high cost of obtaining bioenergy because it's available in abundance and you can use that. Combustion of biomass does not cause any pollution. It has less sulfur dioxide. So that's why it is better to use a biomass since it's not polluting. Biomass is perennial and low polluting type of energy. Demerits is accumulation of water in pipes. When we have a biogas generators, so that sludge get accumulated in the pipelines and it create a little bit of fuss. Seasonal variation of gas due to lack of temperature, since biogas for fermentation we require a high temperature, optimum temperature, you can say that. But if there is a low temperature, there is no fermentation. In summers we have a high fermentation and pure insulation is also there. Ocean energy. In ocean energy, energy from sun heats the surface of water. The temperature difference between the surface of water and the depth, the temperature at depth of water is being used here. So we can generate electricity from that difference, temperature difference. You can see over here. Here there is a temperature of 25 degree and here it's a 5 degree. So there is a temperature difference. The hot water flows to the cold water and it gets hot and the cycle continues. And with this cycle, the energy is created. Like the warm surface water is pumped through an evaporator containing a working fluid. The vaporized fluid drive a turbine or generator. OTC system usually use seawater as a working fluid, can use the condensed water to produce desalinated water. Merits: it has very high cost of obtaining bioenergy through plantation is lesser than the cost of obtaining from fossil fuel. Obviously, In India, condition of OTC plants are favorable because of high temperature difference remain constant through the year. So we can use OTC over here in coastal areas where there is a same temperature. There is no major variation in the coastal area. OTC exploits the temperature difference between surface water and the cold bottom water. Demerits: at greater distance, the transmission of electricity is increased. If the load cell is not on the you can say bay, so a large it is, if it is far away, a large amount of money is involved for the transmission purpose. Plant is subjected to ocean steams and highways. Plant size is limited to only 100 megawatts. It is actually a costly technology, and the problem is the algae formation also. In ocean there is algae formation, and due to algae formation the pipe gets stuck and the circulation of water is not there. Geothermal energy, like I told you, it is from the geothermal fluids. What are the geothermal fluids? It can be utilized for power generation, thermal application, greenhouse effect, and process heat electrical power generation in cold countries. Generally, geothermal energy is available inside the earth at the depth of 80 kilometers. So there are two types of geothermal deposit, hydro and petro. Geothermal is another energy source that can be harnessed from the generation and application. Few locations you can see that in Mexico, New Zealand, Indonesia, Hungary. Actually, it's a location based. In India, there is Manikaran Sahib, you might know that, where people are using that geothermal energy to cook rice and stuff. So these India has about 150 known geothermal. It is site based actually, where there is a warm water that is coming from inside the earth. These are some of the locations which are present in India. Okay guys, these are all the sources of energy which I have told you. In next session, I will take up in detail all the energy resources. The next section will be regarding the biomass energy, which is being widely used in India also. So thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you.